about it. It's for life. Like it's continuing. The program is not over. Like, there's still more training, and like you said, it's all based on the local context. So in terms of Dongxiang, just one of the examples is potato. There's another one. Their lamb is very famous. They've set up a lot of cooperatives. Really increasing the quality of the lamb that comes out of the area, and the people are just doing amazingly well. So it's not some one-size-fits-all Beijing-ordered process. It's targeted, and so what happens is people in the different areas are assigned to the different programs based on what that area has. For example, what are they growing, what kind of resources do they have, and then teams are set up to try and get that process going. Obviously, people will also come in from out of the area and live there for a few years to, experts in whatever, area it is based on their context to help push it forward. So it's a lot of manpower, a lot of planning, and it's definitely not, over. It's ongoing, continually growing.
Do you know if this is linked to either of you? This is a question for both of you. Because after this program, I guess it's not finished, but arrived at one of the markers that they were attempting to achieve, there's this new idea of common prosperity. Do either of you know a little bit more about that for our listeners? Because this is a new goal for, I think, 2035, that there will be a common prosperity across the nation. How is this different from the poverty alleviation campaign that preceded it?
I think it would definitely be completely different. I think they'll raise their standards. I'm not sure of the details of that, but I know with this drive, how in 2020 they said we've achieved, we've lifted everyone above absolute poverty. That is, China's measure of poverty. There's a world index of poverty. The Chinese version is a bit different based on local conditions and also what is it?
Purchasing power parity.
Right. It's a little different, but actually they've lifted people above what they call absolute poverty, but that is still not the final goal. Like, it's still not high enough. So I think to be lifted above absolute poverty, you only need to earn, I don't know the exact figure, but it could be like 12,000 yuan per year. So it's still quite low. So I imagine what's going to happen is they're going to keep raising the standard and bring China, everyone in China, up to a more prosperous standard. I don't know if you know more, Alex.
Apart from the news from, I think the goal was made 2 years ago, and if you want to look at this, I guess an okay analogy to make is that we're kind of first trying to bring everybody up to speed as much as we can, and then from there on, after we've reached the initial goal of the poverty alleviation program, now let's forge on with basically everybody in China, and the key is for its development and safety from the government's reports. That's kind of the main goal for the 2035 mission. Vision.
What I love about China is these long-term plans. Like, it's something, when you have a stable government like China has, we can really go for these long-term plans that look way into the future. In the West, and I'll just talk about New Zealand, we have elections every, I've forgotten now, 3 years? People just have plans for the 3 years. It's like, we will lower taxes, we will build that bridge. But they can't really afford to have long-term plans, which is something that is very unique about China, which I really love. Like, Shanghai has a plan for 2050, So it's just amazing what stable government can do.
You have piqued my curiosity so much. What is this plan for 2050 in Shanghai?
It's just basically turning Shanghai into, what do they call it, a metropolis with global significance and blah, blah, blah. What's the word? Anyway, they want to make Shanghai, a really key international city.
I thought Shanghai was a key international.
It is, but they want more. They want more.